I know there's some strict rules in those campgrounds, all right? Now, I live here on Martha's Vineyard. I'm a local. I moved here in 2010. So I always thank my mother for not buying a house in those campgrounds because I'm only 23 years old, okay? And guys, one of those rules is there's a 10 p.m. curfew. So if you break that 10 p.m. curfew twice, you know what happens? The HOA tells you to take your house and get off the campground, okay? And it's happened to quite a few people, believe it or not, all right? It's pretty crazy how they do it. That's exactly what they do, and it's happened to a couple people, believe it or not. It's really weird. So you folks can imagine there's not a lot of crime going on here on Martha's Vineyard. I told your department, but we actually have our very own Massachusetts State Police right here on Martha's Vineyard. Only local tour bus driver in this company, at least, that I work for. Okay, so you guys got really lucky with me, all right? Because I got a lot of connections here on Martha's Vineyard. I've been here for a very, very, very long time, all right? So we're coming up on a Massachusetts State Police office, and I called ahead because I know some of the guys working there. I told you guys, see? I told you I do not steer you folks wrong, all right? I really am an island local, all right? I'm a year-rounder. I live here in the winter times as well. Not too fun in the winter, okay? It's, especially for 23-year-olds. I'm around this corner, and we're going to catch a glimpse of just like a little view, okay? It's like a little sliver of a view. It's like a gap in the trees you're kind of going to see over here. Now that's a view of West Chop in Vineyard Haven, okay? That's going to be right here straight ahead, veering to the right. You see that? And the Shenandoah, wow, the Shenandoah is never there. You guys saw that black sailboat? Yeah. All right, keep it in mind. That's the Shenandoah. I'll explain it in just a second, okay? I never see it there. Now to the left, you guys are going to see our very own hospital, okay? Martha's Vineyard Hospital, right there to the left. Now, just like everywhere else, guys, there's a shortage of doctors and nurses at that hospital. And actually, for critical emergencies, they med flight people out from that hospital to Boston, okay, to get looked at. It's true. Now, they raised a lot of money for that hospital when they were building it years and years ago. A couple of things where you could spend like 75 grand to play a game of 18 with Tiger Woods, and believe it or not, I'm telling you guys, not steering the wrong way. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 stoplights right here entering this drawbridge, all right? Now, you can imagine that stoplight's green about 90% of the time, and the other 10% when it goes red, this drawbridge is just going up and down to let bigger boats through. And you folks can kind of see we frown upon red on red here, am I right? Because we don't want to end up like Ted Kennedy. Now, guys, this is the largest naturally protected harbor here in Martha's Vineyard, okay? Now, this is Vineyard Haven Harbor. It's protected by West Chop, which is in Vineyard Haven over there, and East Chop, which we were just on the outside of East Chop, okay? And I tell everybody, kind of look at the properties over there. Look at the houses, right? See those houses to the right? Now, I like to always say, guys, these are not hotels. They're not inns. They're not bed and breakfast. These are all houses, okay? It's crazy. And if you look directly right, you'll see one of the most expensive properties on West Chop, like literally directly right. It's a little ugly. I don't know. It just goes around like the Cape and Islands. It's cool, I guess. But that dock that it's docked at right now, you see that dock, guys? I got a little story about that dock. So years ago, former President Barack Obama actually threw like his birthday bash here on Martha's Vineyard. All right, and you can imagine when a president throws a birthday party, he brings some pretty big names, right? Right? A lot of big names when a president throws a party. So one of those big names that came here to Martha's Vineyard on her yacht was Oprah Winfrey, okay? You guys know Oprah Winfrey? Right? Like, look under your seat, you get a free car, Oprah Winfrey, but I don't do that on these tours, okay? I don't. I can't afford that yet. But Oprah Winfrey came here and she docked her yacht there, and guys, the yacht was just about as big as that cruise ship is, believe it or not, okay? And folks, that yacht had 4 floors, and can anybody guess what was on the 3rd floor of that yacht? Kind of tops it all off. Any guesses? Oh, somebody said it right. A chopper, a helicopter, all right? So anybody who gets free questions right, I give you a free drink. If you're not old enough, I give you free ice cream, whatever you want, okay? So thank you guys, I like it. So a helicopter's on the 3rd floor of that yacht, believe it or not. Put my yacht to shame that day. I'm still beefing with Oprah Winfrey over it. So as we come forward here, guys, we're going to see where the most car crashes happen on Martha's Vineyard. This is 5 corners intersection. Look at how crazy this is, okay? No stoplight, 5 corners, everybody can... What's that? Maybe. I hope not, but maybe we will. So to the left, guys, we're going to see a blue inn, okay? So that blue inn right there to the left is actually our first fire station here on Martha's Vineyard, all right? I like to say everything here on Martha's Vineyard with historical value. Those sleazy businessmen I talked about earlier love to turn it into like money pits, okay? Now, if we look across the street, you see a green building. That's the oldest hotel here on Martha's Vineyard. That's called the Mansion House Hotel. And right beyond that, you're going to see Vineyard Haven Main Street, okay? That's Main Street, Vineyard Haven. Our island consists of 3 major towns. It consists of Edgartown, Oak Bluffs, and Vineyard Haven. Okay, Vineyard Haven's one of them. We were in Oak Bluffs earlier, and we're going to get that hour stop in Edgartown. Okay, so we cover all of them. But I always have a really good story about that mansion house and the fire station being right across the street. All right. So the mansion house burnt down not once but twice in the time the fire station was right across the street, believe it or not. So the mansion house burnt down the first time in the Great Fire of 1898 in Vineyard Haven, alright? Hey guys, the mansion house burnt down to a crisp, like nothing but ash, I'm telling you, crazy, right? And then they rebuilt the mansion house, and then it burnt down yet again in 2001, okay? Not to a complete crisp, but pretty close to it, alright? Pretty crazy to think about. I always like to have a couple theories behind that. Maybe the owner of the mansion house walked across the street to the fire station that day, tipped all those firefighters at 20 and said, you know what guys, take the night off, you're working very, very hard. I really think that's what happened. The great show market at Quinta that we just came from are for the rich and famous that don't like to walk among the normal people like me and you. That's what I like to say, alright? And Edgartown is more for the rich that kind of like to show off their money, which, hey, I got no problem with that. I love Edgartown. It's my favorite town. The nightlife is very, very fun here, okay? But an average night stay in Edgartown in the summertime is $1,600 to $2,400 per night in the summertime to stay here in Edgartown, believe it or not. But folks, there's a place where you can get a free stay here in Edgartown, okay, especially on Martha's Vineyard. Now, free stay, right? Nobody's passing that up. And ladies and gentlemen, I was young one time. I still am young. I've made my mistakes. I've been there a couple times, okay? It's not a bed. It's like a bed and breakfast, okay? There's a bed. There's 3 meals. It's awesome. And you know what that is? That's our very own prison. And ladies and gentlemen, that prison is straight ahead. It's to the left. Look at it. That's a prison. Read the sign. Read the sign. Jail and House of Corrections. Okay, that's it. Now, ladies and gentlemen, that's the only prison in the United States of America where you'll see what around the perimeter? A white picket fence around the perimeter, okay? You don't see the barbed wire. You don't see the silver fencing, things like that. It's just a white picket fence around that prison, okay? And that's your free stay here in Martha's Vineyard. Now, I'm not going to tell you how to get a free stay there. You guys can use your imaginations and think it up yourselves, okay? So we're going to enter down Edgartown Main Street right now. And Edgartown was home to whaling. It's our whaling capital. So for 156 years straight, whaling dominated the industry from the mid-1700s to the late 1800s. Now, ladies and gentlemen, tell me what was before kerosene? Whale oil. Ding, ding, ding. A lot of people got it right. Free drinks for everybody, okay? So, guys, whale oil. All right? And in the mid-1800s, that's when whaling was especially big. So, a man who was in the middle of whaling in those 1800s, his house was right here to the left, okay? This is the Dr. Daniel Fisher house to the left right here. All right? Very, very gorgeous property. He was a doctor and entrepreneur known as the wealthiest man on Martha's Vineyard, Dr. Daniel Fisher. Look at how beautiful that is to the left. Wait, now it's Dukes County, okay? Right beyond that, we're going to see our old whaling church in Edgartown to the left as well. You see that old whaling church right there, guys? Used for weddings and things like that, church services. Very, very beautiful, right? Old whaling church, yeah, right there. An old whaling church. So you guys remember in Jaws, what was Martha's Vineyard called in Jaws? You tell me. Jaws was filmed here, if maybe you didn't know that. Anybody know? No? No. Amity Island, okay? This was Amity Island. Hey guys, you remember the Amity 4th of July street parade? You remember that? So that street parade was right down Edgartown Main Street over there that we just turned off of, okay? And you folks remember Amity Town Hall as well? Amity Town Hall, right? It's in the movie. It's right down there as well. You'll recognize it. It looks the exact same as how it was when it was in Jaws. And you folks remember another very famous scene where everybody was freaking out and Captain